Before the magical adventure begins, leave a like and subscribe to follow our enchanted stories.
Your support helps us create even more magical stories for you.
Many years ago, there lived an emperor who loved beautiful new clothes above all else.
He spent all his money on being dressed in the finest fabrics and colors.
He cared only for showing off his clothes, ignoring his soldiers and the theater.
He had a coat for every hour, spending all his time in his dressing room. One day, two swindlers arrived, pretending to be master weavers. They claimed they could weave the most beautiful cloth imaginable.
They said the cloth was invisible to anyone unfit or stupid.
The emperor thought these clothes would help him judge his men. The emperor gave the impostors a large sum of money to begin their work immediately. The two men set up two fine looms and pretended to be very hard at work. They demanded the finest silk and the purest gold, which they put into their own bags. They worked at the empty looms until late into the night, weaving absolutely nothing. The faithful old minister entered the hall, where the two impostors sat working. He opened his eyes wide. "Heaven help me," he thought. "I cannot see anything." But he did not say so, standing still while they asked him to approach. They pointed to the empty looms, asking if the colors and patterns were not beautiful. The poor old minister stared hard, but saw nothing, for there was nothing there.
It is charming. Ha! I will praise it to the emperor.
The emperor sent another honest official to inspect the weaver's progress.
He looked and looked, but since there was nothing there, he saw nothing.
The impostors pointed to the empty looms, asking if the colors were not beautiful. Not wishing to appear foolish, the official pretended to admire the invisible patterns. He returned to the emperor with delight, praising the magnificent, non-existent fabric. Now the emperor himself came to examine the costly fabric.
He looked at the empty looms but saw nothing at all.
"Can I be stupid?" he thought in sudden, cold fear. The swindlers pointed, asking if the colors were not magnificent. To save his pride, the emperor nodded and praised the work.
The whole night before the morning the procession was to take place, the swindlers were up. There was a great deal of work to be done.
They had more than 16 candles burning. They took the fabric from the empty looms and laid it onto the table.
The finest silk, invisible to the unworthy, began to take shape under our hands. They snipped in the air with big scissors and sewed with needles without thread. At last they said, "Now the emperor's new clothes are ready." The emperor took off his clothes, ready to don the magnificent new attire. "Your Majesty, behold the finery, so light yet so strong. Feel the texture, sire, feel the craftsmanship."
Here are the trousers. Here is the coat.
Observe their magnificent weave, Your Majesty.
They are as light as a spider web. You feel nothing at all.
The emperor turned and twisted in front of the mirror, admiring the invisible fit. The emperor walked under his high canopy in the midst of the procession.
All the people in the streets and at the windows cried out.
Oh, how incomparable are the emperor's new clothes! What a beautiful train! Beautiful, magnificent. For no one would let it be perceived that he could see nothing.
But he has nothing on, said a little child, pointing at the emperor.
Lord, hear the voice of innocence to the surrounding people. In the background, there is the
And one person whispered to another exactly what the child had said.
But he has nothing on, cried the whole people at length.
The emperor shivered, for it seemed to him that they were right.
But he held himself stiffer, and the chamberlains carried the invisible train.
Vanity may march with pride, but the simple truth is never hidden.
For only the eyes of innocence see the world as it truly is.